It's a browser. What's gamer about it?
It's for playing Farmville on Facebook. It runs better.
It's got RGB.
How do I turn that on? That's important.
And the UI is just,
Yeah.
of course.
Probably pick gray, it's the most dark mode-y.
Oh, I can customize the browser. Razer Chroma.
Yeah.
What?
I can move it anywhere I want. Holy.
You can.
And CPU limiter. Well, that's good, you know, in case those crypto JavaScriptos.
RAM limiter.
Oh, so I can tell it, no, don't take my RAM.
Good gravy, this is awesome.
Wow.
Very excited to not install this at home.
The video game industry is now bigger than both the film and music industries, so naturally, everybody wants to cash in. There's gaming chairs, gaming desks, and even gaming socks. I mean, for Pete's sake. And now finally we've taken it to yet another level, a gaming web browser. That is, no kidding, what Opera GX calls itself. And no, actually, it is apparently not just for playing the most demanding browser games on Neopets. It comes with a ton of features that Opera claims are designed for #ThatGamerLife, like a CPU and RAM limiter. The question is this as stupid as it sounds and looks? And the other question also is, can you trust Opera? Because the company's allegedly been doing some pretty shady stuff lately. You know who's not shady though? Our sponsor, Ridge Wallet. Stop carrying around pointless cards like old hotel room keys and spent gift cards. Ridge Wallet helps you keep your bulge down. And when you use offer code Linus, you'll save 10% and get free worldwide shipping at the link below. What are we looking at here? On a very basic level, Opera GX is a custom version of the Chromium-based Opera browser, and it actually launched last June, but we're covering it now because, frankly speaking, we just didn't notice, which kind of makes sense. I mean, I know we joke about, haha, no one uses Firefox, but 9% market share looks pretty great compared to Opera's 1.46%, which doesn't mean that Opera is bad. It differentiates itself by having some features baked right in that you would normally have to add with extensions. An ad/tracker blocker, screenshotting tool, messenger mini apps, and even a cryptocurrency wallet and a VPN. It's a sucky VPN, both because of how it actually works and because Opera might not be who you want to trust with your data, given their recent predatory loan-related scandal, but we'll get to that more later. For now, just know that this is essentially Opera as you may or may not know it, plus some additional features and aesthetic tweaks for gamers. Now, the aesthetic side of that is obvious here because we've got a lot of angular lines and dark color schemes and even Razer Chroma RGB synchronization. And that's all without messing with the rendering of actual website content. Here's a neat site, lttstore.com. Look at these great and fashionable clothing products. Also in here are a few options for the default background, including some animated ones, which is kind of cool. And then there's like some baffling stuff, like an option to change the animations for the speed dial shortcuts, which I guess is fine on its own. But then they also have their own associated sound effects that are composed in collaboration with sound designer Ruben Rincon and the band Berlinist, who recently received a nomination in the BAFTA Games Awards for the original game soundtrack to Gris. They all kind of sound like whooshes to me, but okay. As for the features with some more substance, the main attractions are the limiters. Clicking the speedometer icon in the sidebar will pop out a UI where you can monitor and put a cap on how much network bandwidth, RAM, and CPU power Opera GX is allowed to use. We tested this by playing City Skylines, which is very CPU intensive, with 50 tabs open in the background, just to see if we could observe a difference between Opera GX and Chrome. And in terms of frames per second at least, we didn't. But that doesn't mean that the feature didn't work as intended and that you won't see a difference. We did notice that Task Manager consistently reported Opera GX's CPU and RAM usage as a bit higher than what Opera said it was using, and our machine, equipped with an 8700K, was powerful enough to chug through our workload regardless of limiters, but Chrome ended up using measurably more resources than Opera GX did once it had those features enabled. So obviously, whether this has a noticeable impact on your gaming experience depends on your situation, but I really can see this being useful if, say, you're downloading a game through Steam and you wanna limit your browser's bandwidth so it comes down as fast as possible. Or if you've got an entry-level system and you wanna keep a bunch of tabs open so you don't lose them, but you don't want your browser to hurt your gaming performance. The other main cool feature in Opera GX is the pop-out video player, which lets you resize and place YouTube, Twitch, or other web videos over top of anything else on your desktop. This seems especially useful if you're running low on monitor real estate, allowing you to keep watching something without having to resize an entire monitor window and be left with only a tiny sliver of actual video. It also stays always on top of all of your programs, including games, which is pretty awesome for single monitor gamers, if they happen to be gifted enough to be able to simultaneously watch a video and play video games. I mean, nobody does that, right?
Okay, boomer.
Okay, no, that is ageist, and more importantly, it is a dead meme. Twitter said so, and Twitter knows. And there's some more little game retweaks that might make this attractive to a certain audience. A Twitch sidebar shortcut that notifies you when streamers you follow go live, as well as GX Corner, a regularly updated page that keeps track of upcoming game releases, news, and deals. Although, I guess they're still working on the deals section because it's not there right now. So we started out with this video thinking this was just gonna be like a rant about how stupid it is, but it ended up not being that stupid, which doesn't necessarily mean that you should use it. Here's where we get back to the whole Opera non-GX. The browser has a long history, having been originally built using the proprietary Presto engine back in 1995. It switched to using Chromium in 2013, and then in 2016, Opera Software was acquired by a consortium of Chinese investors known as Golden Brick Capital Private Equity Fund Limited Partnership. I mean, with a trustworthy name like that, how could you not sell to them, right? Things actually seem to be going pretty smoothly for the most part until just recently when Hindenburg Research published a report alleging that 4 of Opera Software's other apps were doing some sketchy stuff that was in violation of Google Play Store policies. These apps apparently were targeting people in India, Kenya, and Nigeria with predatory loans offering APRs of 33% when the actual rate was as high as 438%. The report goes on to suggest that Opera was resorting to these shady practices in the face of a drastic drop in their user numbers and revenue. And also, remember that sucky VPN we mentioned? So it's not actually a VPN. It's more of a proxy service, and it tanks your network performance while having a suite of benefits that are dubious at best. On top of all of that, the current Opera CEO is allegedly involved in another Chinese lending business that was accused of fraud and illegal lending practices. So here we are then, Opera GX the product. Actually, shockingly not terrible, but it still doesn't seem like this is the best time to support this company, even if it might make it easier for you to watch your anime music videos while you wreck filthy casuals in COD. Speaking of casuals, what do you get when you casually drop this segue to our sponsor? The Drop THX Panda wireless headphones. Oh, apparently they're sponsoring us. Okay, so I already shot my video going through it. These things are freaking awesome though. I don't know what's in my talking points. I'm not even looking at them, but the goal when they set out to build them was to make audiophile quality wireless headphones. And they actually leave out a lot of the stuff that I kind of take for granted in a properly fully featured wireless headphone. Like, they don't even have an automatic mode where when you take them off your ears, they stop playing. You put them around your neck, they just like keep playing. But what they've achieved is the closest thing to a wired headphone experience, just without a wire. So they've got 30 hours of wireless life. They use a THX AAA amplifier. They've got 2 microphones, Bluetooth. They're compatible with Home Assistance. There's an optional detachable gaming mic, and they weigh just 375 grams. You can pre-order them at the link below, and honestly, these things are freaking sick. So thanks for going on this adventure with us, gamers. If you're looking for something else to watch, check out our video on repairing broken CPU pins. But that's impossible, you might say. I hit 10 million subscribers yesterday. Anything is possible. I mean, look at me. Look at my hair.